Welcome back to another video on Beyond Crazy, everybody. I am here again with another day vlog, I suppose I would call it. We had a whole conversation the other day about like what to call this whole series and everything, but it's just gonna be another day with me. I know some of you might not like it. Those of you who did, thank you so much for the likes, comments, and all of that stuff. It's been awesome reading your guys' feedback. Olive, you wanna go get some food? All right, let's go. Yeah, could I please do a pup cup?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, she has waited far long enough.
You go, baby.
Okay, so while you enjoy, or while she enjoys this, and while you enjoy the sounds of her slurping, I was just honestly thinking about how it's probably her favorite part of the fact that I'm vlogging now is that she's always like going around and doing things with me. And I have to say that's one of the things that I can say that I appreciate the most about this position is that it's given me the ability to spend more time doing the things that I want to do and spend more time around not only the things that the dogs that I love, but the people that I love too. I'm sorry, I went to end the clip and I totally took this from you. So as you can see, I just dropped off Olive. I'm right in front of my house. Please don't use that geo-track stuff. I see crazy TikToks all the time, like people finding exactly where people are just from the backgrounds of their videos. So please don't do that. So today was going to be just a relaxed day, kind of like a recharge after everything that's been going on over at the house and everything, but that's not going to happen. It's Hannah's birthday today, so I'm going to be making her her dessert of choice. I texted her this morning. I can throw up a little thread on the screen here, but she asked me for strawberry cheesecake, and I know I've made it on the channel once before, so I'm hoping to do something a little bit different with that recipe, as well as I'll throw an extra recipe at the end of this whole thing, just so that it's not any like a repeat of any sort. But yeah, I'm gonna go run a couple of errands because like I said, it was gonna be kind of a reset day, so I'm gonna bring you along with. Eston, I don't know how to make this interesting, but I'm driving. Please don't leave this audio in. Okay, so I just went ahead and I washed my truck. Oddly enough, the lady that pulled up next to me to also vacuum out her vehicle was actually my old assistant manager from Sunglass Hut a million years ago, or what feels like a million years ago. But now I'm over at Jiffy Lube, so I'm getting that done. So on the last video, everyone had a bunch of nice comments and honestly, some downright hilarious ones too. No, I did not trade in my Tacoma for a Subaru, although that is freaking hilarious. Oh, also, I do love Birkenstocks, okay? On that note, I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna give you guys a look around of what I've done to this Tacoma so far. I've gone into a little bit before about like the build and everything of this taco, and I haven't done much to the exterior as of yet, but the interior is completely done as far as I'm concerned. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of it. Eston, if you wouldn't mind throwing on some pictures of what the stock Tacoma looks like. We featured it once before when we did a car walkthrough, but that was hundreds and hundreds of dollars later, and all of these different projects that I've had and all of these like great experiences just like sitting. I'm definitely a person to like love sitting and like waiting for things to come for me in the mail. And so it's just been a bunch of that. Nothing that I'm going to show is in any way, shape, or form a sponsorship. I paid for everything myself. So everything I say about all of the products is completely based on like my personal opinion after paying for them. So here, I'm gonna show you a little bit around. So this is what the interior looks like. I think we could do a flash to what it looks like stock. But even from the doors, so starting at the door, these are ordinarily chrome, so I've got this covered, the black piece here covered. I picked out new rugs here. I opted for the rough country seat covers. They're neoprene, so they work really, really well for like my daily needs rather. Sorry, they're water resistant and they're fairly good about the dog hair, which is like a really big thing for me because like as you guys know, I do have my 2 dogs, so I want to make sure that I had something that could like accommodate that as well. The steering wheel, these are blackout overlays as well as the centerpiece. Coming into the middle, I have the neoprene cover just to match this black outer piece as well as this black inner ring, this black box, this black ring here, the actual shifter knob. Here, I'll close the door. The actual shifter knob itself here. And I've got wireless CarPlay that I've added in. Thank you, Grandpa Jeff. I also went ahead and got the black rings for this, the black ring for my 4x4, as well as that pesky black overlay piece that finally came in the mail. And I'll play a little clip right now of getting it inside the mail and what ended up happening with that, so I'll let that play right now. Coincidentally, they actually sent me 2. Go figure, after all of this, I end up with 2 of them, but it just means that I'm gonna end up giving someone else one. But I've got the other already installed. Look how great this looks. All blacked out, finally. I'm ridiculously stoked, and stay tuned. I'm gonna have to find someone else, like maybe a neighbor, maybe a stranger of some kind, to give this other panel to. Yes, so that's that, and they sent me 2. So now I've literally got it sitting right here for the next time I see a taco guy that looks like he'd appreciate it. So anyway, so back to this side. I've got this all blacked out finally. I put some new knobs on because the ones before were very shallow, and I do find myself using these knobs. And then I also opted for the little Tacoma overlay. It might be a little tough to see, but instead of it just being a cutout, it's actually got like the Tacoma lettering that like protrudes just a tiny bit. But it's not much, but it's mine, and I absolutely love it. I don't think there's anything else I'm gonna do for this truck. I plan on keeping this truck for its entire life. So that's why getting the oil change today was so important for me. It's funny, I was telling Max this story. So like, I've been getting this little message on the taco screen saying, maintenance required soon. Okay, and it already had me like super anxious, and I'm like, no, I need to get an oil change. I need to get an oil change. Like, I can't drive north. Like, I can't do anything. I need to get this oil change. And I was driving the other day, and literally out of nowhere, the soon dropped off. So it just said maintenance required, and I was like, okay, I have to get it. And that was literally yesterday. So I got it done today, so I'm super thankful. But yeah, this is my forever truck, and I plan on driving this truck for the rest of my life, hopefully. So I'm gonna do a little B-roll shot of the inside, but yeah, I hope you guys like it as much as I do. If you guys have tacos of your own, or even just like any kind of builds and stuff, drop me some pictures. I absolutely love seeing how people customize stuff. If you guys didn't know already, after seeing my motorcycle, and after seeing my taco now, I love customization. So yeah, let me know down in the comments if you do. But yeah, Aston, take it away.
Okay.
The star of the show. Yeah. Okay, so I am back home. I've got everything set up nice and pretty so that I can show you guys all how to do this one more time. I'm gonna save you guys a view on the other video, and I'm just gonna run through it once more, but it's gonna be super quick, super simple, and yeah, follow along if you can. We're gonna start this recipe off on the KitchenAid itself. I'm not going to sift any of these ingredients because it is, I read inside the comments on the last one that a lot of people were saying, yes, sift ingredients for baking, but not for this one. So we're gonna limit test right now and give it a shot. So I'm gonna be working off of the KitchenAid. I'm gonna start with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I am doubling up on my recipe, so if you're doing this at home and you're just wanting to do just a basic cake, just do the 1. Or I'm sorry, 2 cups for the 1 recipe. There we go. So I am still going to be putting in all of my dry ingredients and then following that up with all of my wet ingredients. So I'm gonna turn this on to low speed and add those 4 cups of flour that I talked about. I feel so wrong not sifting this, but I'm going to. This is gonna be very low. I'll bring that bowl up. Okay, lock it in place, everyone watching. Now that I've got the flour added, I'm gonna come in with 2 cups of granulated white sugar. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with 2.5 tablespoons of baking powder. If you're just doing this yourself, the conversion would be, that'd be 4 teaspoons. So I only have a teaspoon handy, so I'm gonna do 8 of these. This is when you're gonna add in your full teaspoon of salt. If you're doing just a single recipe, just split that in half and just do the half. I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna crank a little bit in here. I just want just a tiny bit. Next, half teaspoon of nutmeg. So now I'm gonna stop this. This is all of my dry ingredients all put together here. All right, so this is nice and well incorporated now. I'm gonna go ahead now and add my 2 eggs. I'm gonna do 2/3 of a cups of just plain whole milk. And then as soon as that's done, I'm gonna start breaking up. I'm gonna cut up my my butter into little dice-sized pieces, and I'm gonna add those in as well. I'm going to be using 1 full cup, so just keep in mind, half a cup of butter is 1 full stick, which is 8 tablespoons. So I'm gonna be using 2 sticks of butter. It sounds like a lot, but trust me, once it bakes out, it's gonna be fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a top-down view as I add in my little dice-sized pieces, and so you'll see as the dough starts to form, that's when I'm gonna add the rest of my wet ingredients. Time to slowly start adding in my milk. So now that it's nice and this is the consistency, it's nice little crumbles. Now that it's turned to that, I'm gonna go ahead and clean down the workstation and give everything a light coat of flour, and I'm gonna show you the next step. If you're wondering why I just wiped down the kitchen after I literally said don't worry about spilling flour, if you missed it during that, I actually wrecked an egg. Happens to everybody. Play it back. As we're going through this, just keep in mind, we did this a little bit differently than we did last time. This dough is going to fall together almost instantaneously, so I am gonna knead it just a little bit just to take the creases out of it. But you can actually start with just 1 big piece. Cool. And just press everything together. It should be semi-moist, okay? It should not be dried out. All right. So now that we've got most of these creases worked out through this dough, I'm gonna go ahead and make it as cylindrical as possible so that I can evenly distribute it into 3 different portions. Make a giant Play-Doh snake. That's what you're looking for, and now break it into 3. Take a look at that. I worked the creases out of it. Look at the layering on this dough, guys. This is a no rest dough, so it's good to go right after you get done with it, okay? I don't like to leave these open, all right? So I'm gonna once over, knead them through, bring in the bottoms like that. You'll see this done with pizza dough a lot. And then what a lot of chefs will do is they'll pinch and they'll grip it off, but I'm just gonna pinch it and seal it, okay? Just like that. Now, repeat the process to the other 3. Hand butter a couple of pans. Also, be better than me, I always forget. Preheat your oven to... It's a good question, give me 1 second. I'm literally about to watch a YouTube video of myself making this. Preheat your oven to 350 and hand butter all of your pans. Let's get it going. All right, now that we've got everything cleaned up, I'm gonna take another stick of butter. I know what you're thinking, more butter, I know. This is the last of it, I promise. And I'm gonna hand butter these 3 pans and I'm gonna evenly spread my dough across them and get them ready for the oven. Now that I've got these all prepped and ready to go into the oven, I am waiting still for my oven to preheat. Be better than me, preheat your oven before you start this to 350 degrees. I am going to go ahead and take the time to clean both the bowl and the attachment from the mixer and throw those into the freezer to make my whipped cream even easier to make, okay? So I'm gonna give us a couple seconds for that to happen and I'm gonna clean up the kitchen. I'll be right back. So my oven is preheated now. I'm gonna go ahead and add my 3 cakes to it. This is gonna cook for about 25 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. Just keep an eye on it. You're really looking for a nice spongy cake. The last time I made it, I overcooked it just a tiny bit. That made it a little more crumbly than it was meant to be. But this time, I'm gonna have laser focus on it and I'm not moving. So let's go ahead and load those up. Okay, so like I said, those have to be in there for probably about 25 to 35 minutes. I'm actually gonna take the opportunity to run up and grab Hannah a card. Before you comment what I think you're about to comment, Max is upstairs and I already let him know and he's kind enough to keep an eye on those cakes for me. So I'm gonna run up to Target right now and grab a little something for Hannah. Random cut of olive in the bed. So I just came out of Target. I figured I'm not gonna record in Target because if you know anything about me, that is definitely not the kind of person I wanna be or am at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and head back home. I got her a little $50 gift card and a little card that I thought was cute that just says, "So glad you were born." So I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, get that all ready for her and I'll bring that over with the cake when I head over there in a little bit. Okay, I do apologize for the terrible lighting. I have lost the natural light of the day, but they have been in for about 25 minutes now. I toothpick tested one of them. They look good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out of the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer them upside down onto some cooling racks, hopefully not breaking them. I'm gonna run a spatula around the edge of it, see if I can get it to separate from the mold as much as possible before I try to flip it. I'm actually going to bring it to the wire, or bring the wire to it rather. Flip this upside down, give it a little for good luck. And remember, these things are still hot. I almost just burnt my fingers. And there is one. Repeat this for all 3. So now that I've got those separated, they do look way, way, way better than the last time I did them. I went ahead and separated them off. The last time I did them, I kind of rushed the cooling them down process. This time around, I'm not gonna make that mistake. I'm gonna make sure I bring them up to room temperature in the room rather than the fridge. And I'm gonna start on the whipped cream. Hopefully you guys followed my instructions and put everything into the freezer because it's gonna make this next part so much easier. Yeah. All right, everybody, it's that time. I'm gonna pull my stuff out of the freezer. They are nice and frosty. So I'm gonna start this on medium heat. I'm gonna bring it up, making sure to lock it this time. I'm gonna bring it up on medium heat. I'm gonna use 2 cups, that's way too high. I'm gonna use 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, and I'm gonna go until we've got stiff peaks. There we go. So I'm gonna let that run until we've got stiff peaks. If you don't remember, I will show everyone what that looks like. Just give it a couple minutes to run off. Okay, so now that this has started to thicken up just a bit, it's not quite at the stiff peaks, I'm gonna slowly start incorporating all of my sugar into it. I opted for powdered just to make sure that it doesn't weigh it down. I'm gonna be using a 1/4 cup. I know it seems like a lot, but it is a whipped cream. It's going to be pretty sweet, and I want it to have like a moussey type consistency. That's why I'm going for the stiff peaks. Once again, I'll show you what that looks like. Just give me a couple more minutes, and yeah, this has been running for about probably about 90 seconds to 2 minutes on high now, and I'm gonna keep rotating it through. It should be more than halfway through already, but I'll let you know. All right, look at those peaks. Now that that whipped cream is looking beautiful, I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This is completely optional, but I think it just gives the cream a little more substance to it. And then I'm just gonna break down 3 containers of strawberries and get this all put together. So my vision originally was to do a tiramisu-esque type of build. I picked up this container. I'm really hoping to like cut it to size and build it inside the container. I'm imagining this layered cake that you can see inside in the sides of the container. So I'm gonna put that together and see if I can make this dream come together and give it to Hannah. So I've got all the strawberries cut up and dried off, cleaned and ready. I've got the whipped cream ready. It's just time to cut these cakes to size and hope that this comes together the way I was hoping. Happy birthday, Hannah! I got the opportunity to try it because I cut so many pieces off of it to get it to fit into the mold, but it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I know that Hannah isn't a fan of things that are super overly sweet, and neither am I, so I have a feeling she's gonna like this a lot. It didn't come out exactly the way that I wanted to with 3 layers. There just wasn't enough like room vertically inside the container, but that was completely okay because I ended up using the 3rd to make this cute little extra one. So she is getting all 3 of them. They're just gonna be in 2 containers. But yeah, so I've got everything packed up. The party already started. I am running a little bit late, but this is why. So I'm gonna get everything going and head over to the Pettit house and wish Hannah a happy birthday. I'm just getting back home now from the party. I went ahead and dropped that off and wished Hannah a happy birthday. Hannah, if you're watching, I am so incredibly thankful to have you inside my life. You are 100% one of the coolest people that I know. I'm so thankful to have you as a sister, really. So happy birthday. I hope you really enjoy the strawberry shortcake. And that's gonna call it for me for the day, everybody. I love you. Thank you so much for all your support and nice comments and whatnot. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.